Want more Marvel? Digging DC? Looking for the latest in nerd news? We got it all and more. This is
Distance Nerding.
We're talking about anything pop culture, movies, music, food, wrestling, whatever you're nerding out on, we want to talk about it. The Distance Nerding podcast celebrates all things you nerd out on. More nerd news, less nerd negativity. Each week, join young Phil and John Mez 5000 as they discuss what's new in the nerd world and get your voice heard in the Facebook group, The Distance Nerdington Post. Grab some tacos, hold on to your butts, and strap in for the ride. You are now listening to Distance Nerding.
Woohoo! Happy Friday, Internet Land. Happy Friday, Ezra and Phoenix.
Happy Friday to you.
Happy Friday.
How is everybody doing? We survived another week. Yeah.
Woo!
Some weeks are harder than others, y'all. Yeah.
Although the weather is beautiful where we are.
Yeah. I don't know where everybody is out in the country right now. I know it's not as gorgeous in some parts of the country as it is in lovely California right now. But, you know, it's before fire season, so that'll all change soon.
Yeah.
Don't mention fire season.
Oh, man. I still have PTSD from last year. Hey! Darth Morbidius is in the house. That is incredible because that is our Flow of the Show artist for this week. So I'm very excited. He's here to check himself out. That's so cool.
That's awesome.
Hopefully you've told your friends and all your fans, Darth Morbidius, to tune in and watch your segment. We are really excited to see it.
He is actually the student of our producer, James Kaiser.
Ooh.
So everything at least James says everything you see is, I guess, his student Padawan. I'm not sure.
Teaching?
Yeah. His teaching.
Ooh, that's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure.
I'm sure it'll be great knowing James. And I've seen it. It's a pretty good video.
Woohoo! Well, I'm what's it say?
European Sith Divian represents.
Ooh, European Sith. All right.
Okay.
Those are more cultured Sith.
Very cultured.
They speak with a better accent than us, I guess.
Right.
They're really English.
Our good friend Dominic Pace is out and about getting ready to start his tour. We are very excited. We are 2 weeks away from that?
Yeah. Today is the 16th. He'll be here on the 30th.
Right. And this is the 48th show that we have done because he lines up on the 50th.
Yes, he does. It's a good way to celebrate.
Woohoo! And I also, you know what's kind of funny? I have confirmed who our guest is. So May 4th falls on a Tuesday this year, right? So in celebration of the great George Lucas Day, we have Dominic Pace on the Friday before, but we also have another Lucasfilm person on the Friday after that that will be talking to us. I won't give you too many. I won't give it away just yet, but just think that this character has asthma. Anyways, so I'm going to be very excited. What a fantastic bookend to May 4th we have. Yeah,
really. I mean, all the way March up to May is always exciting. It's almost summertime. Also in Kyber Cave news is we're going to be on Distance Nerding.
Oh. Yeah. That's right. For those of you that have not yet checked out Distance Nerding podcast, first off, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, what's wrong with you? Why haven't you checked it out? It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing. First and then go to theirs.
We will be there Tuesday night at 6 p.m., 7 p.m.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think we're starting at 5:30. And we're recording. Yeah.
Woohoo! Man, see, we can even bring out Ezra or Flannel or something to have the whole Saber Rattle crew. Where's James? We got to tell James to drive in for this.
All the way. You know, that 500 miles is not that hard. You know,
Not that hard. He could fly here.
Yeah.
Speaking of James, I think since I apologize. It's the diva in me. I was late tonight. Speaking of James, I think it's a great time to get into our fantastic flow of the show you were talking about there, Phoenix.
Flow for the show. Here we go.
And a comet rips the sky, and you and I must die. From the eternal sea he rises, creating armies on either shore, turning man against his brother, till man exists no more.
That was amazing.
Wow. And you know how you could tell he was James's protege is he was doing the Levisaber, the whole Levisaber thing.
Very good.
Cool. You know what? Oh man, dude! Every week we always see fantastic video, but what I love is that it was like a story-driven kind of thing, right? It starts off with the holocron in the front. It's like he's out in the woods meditating, and even the lighting in the trees. I don't know if you guys saw the lighting, the way the I don't know, fog or whatever was coming through.
Very
yeah. It gave it just that perfect feel, and then especially for the type of saber moves he was doing with the levitating. And oh man, that was amazing! You go, Darth Morbidius! Yeah. Hopefully, we will get him again on the show at some other point. Christine Gore, what is up? How are you doing? Her daughter is her daughter actually has her own business, and she sells like soaps that are Star Wars inspired, that are super super cool, and I guess they're like good for people with eczema or something like that. So if that's something you need in your life, contact Christine. All right, y'all. Is there anything else that we should go over at the before we get into this?
I was gonna say there's stuff, but we can't really talk about it. We're like what is it, the Winter Soldier and Falcon it just came out last night.
No. I have to finish episode 4 before I can do anything.
Yeah, see, it's not my fault you're irresponsible with your time.
I'm working for you.
Yeah.
And I have school in the morning. I finish school and I come here.
You make it sound like I got you like chained up to a machine in the back or something.
I did that. Sorry.
Right, we can't all have that job. That's Phoenix's job. She's the one slaving away on Saber Rattle, dude.
Me and her both.
Oh yeah.
Get us out of here.
Water, food, anything, please. Please, you see the boxes that they're in? Those are their actual homes. Like, that's a cage that's around them. I don't let them actually leave these areas.
I can't even see outside.
Oh man, don't put that on me. You put that up.
I did put that up.
All right, y'all.
Okay.
What's up?
Nothing.
Are we ready to get into this fantastic interview?
Yes, I think we are ready. So go ahead and do the introduction.
Okay. Well, the guest that we have tonight is maybe a newer name on the scene. Some of you may or may not know about the Saber company, but I guarantee that you will know a lot about his products. and he's going to let you know more about what he does. He has a saber company called Starforged Sabers, and this is Mr. Jim Mosctello. Please bring up Jim.
Hey, how you doing, Ezra? How you doing, Phoenix?
Hey,
how you doing, buddy?
Man, you look like you shaved for this or something.
No, actually, I didn't.
Oh,
I just can't grow
clean.
that, sweet nerd goatee the way you guys can.
Well, I'm working on my Obi-Wan at this point.
I'm working on my preteen Anakin, apparently.
How you doing tonight, Jim? I appreciate you staying up later for us. You're over on the East Coast, right?
I am up here in sunny Lake Placid, New York. It is beautiful up here, except for today it snowed. Thank you all for rubbing in the wonderful weather on the West Coast. And
I had the top down on the car today, So you are up in New York. How are you? How did you get into sabering? What is it that brought you to sabering? Have you always been a Saber fan? Is this a new thing for you? Tell us everything.
So I've always been a Star Wars fan. When I was really young, I would say probably 9. I really wanted one of the original Ultra sabers. Well, of course, when you're 9, you have no money, and convincing your parents to let you buy them is not easy. So when I turned 21, I bought my first saber. It was an Aeon, I think V4 or Aeon V3 from Ultra Sabers. It was pretty cool. It had sound. It was exactly what I was hoping for, and then I kind of got addicted, and I kept buying and buying and buying. Finally, I decided, you know what? I'm going to see if I can buy parts. I found the custom saber shop like most intrepid Star Wars saber fans do.
Right.
So I bought a buttload of parts. And then I ended up buying a bunch of parts from them, and I ended up buying a bunch of LEDs and electronics and doing a bunch of stunt installs. And then I was like, well, this is kind of cool. I wonder if I could find soundboards. So in the midst of my first actual soundboard soldering, I found Dark Wolf Custom Sabers and Johnny Colato. And that man kind of changed everything for me because he sold me my first full soundboard and then spent I don't know how many hours walking me through how to do the soldering.
Wow.
Yeah, he was seriously a big influence for me. And then I started my own business, and I did it started off with metal tubing with a 3D printed part. That sold well. Actually, I'm visiting one of the guys from the first convention I actually sold at. He won my very first soundboard saber.
Woohoo!
He's getting married in a couple of months. Actually, he's getting married in, let me check a look at my calendar. What's today? May 4th is he's getting married in 2 weeks from this Tuesday.
So he's getting married on May 4th?
He is, and his fiance is a huge Star Wars fan. He's a huge Star Wars fan. I know it's probably too late for him to be watching, and also that he doesn't watch the Saber Rattle, unfortunately.
Oh,
I've shared it. I'm trying to convince them. So he's getting an EcoPixel upgrade for my shop. The Dark Khalid Bulb, which is the shop exclusive that LGT gave willingly, put up on our little group for vendors. Zas, Charlie, and I, Zas being over in England, me being here, put the bids in for it, and we both wanted it, and we both got the shop exclusive for a while.
Wow.
So he's getting the very first shop one that specific saber style. He's getting the very first one. He has the very first saber I sold.
Right.
And he's getting the very first sale of the shop exclusive.
Man, some people have all the luck.
Well, he's been my friend for a very long time, and when he got engaged, it was almost like I was, jumping for joy for him and his fiance because they're awesome people.
That's fantastic. And see, they picked a fantastic day to get married too. They picked Audrey Hepburn's birthday.
Yes, that's the most important thing for them.
Right, because that's the biggest thing on May 4th is Audrey Hepburn's birthday.
So
But I mean,
they're getting married on May 4th, but because of our COVID restrictions, they can't have anyone with their, like, any of our friends with them until mid-August. Because that's when supposedly all of our friends will finally have all of their COVID vaccines.
Hey, sorry to interrupt. Van actually dropped off. Phoenix, would you mind taking over this interview real quick?
Oh, yeah. So please continue your story because you were what you were saying.
So then Johnny got me into the Golden Harvest boards, which I absolutely loved.
Mhm.
And then after about 6 months to a year of getting Golden Harvest boards, I decided to bite the bullet halfway through pandemic, about July or August of last year, and sign on as a vendor for LGT because at the time I couldn't keep up with my locals who were buying. I unfortunately, when I was before LGT, I was making every saber that I sold, and I could not keep up with the demand from the locals in my area. So I said, you know what, I have to do this. It's going to be the best way to keep up with them. So I bought a bunch of the basic lines, and then I started going, okay, well, what if I buy parts and I use these as like kind of cool constructor sabers? And so that's where that part of my thing came from. Oh, look, Ezra's back.
No, well, I'm back. Ezra's going to be back in a second. Ark is back. I'm sorry about that.
It's all right. So
I'll stick around just in case.
The constructor sabers were kind of cool. And after that, all the designs, all the part amalgamations on the shop, I looked at LGT's catalog, and I literally ask for a catalog almost every time I order now because they've always either added something cool or there's new colors or something. So I always try to get as much information as I can prior to ordering so that I can add more cool stuff.
All right. Now, and I apologize if I missed this, but and thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you, Phoenix. Thank you for saving my butt. And thank you to Ezra for saving me. Everybody knows, anybody that works around me knows that I'm not allowed to touch the technology, and there's a very good reason.
He mentioned that.
He's not.
So I know that you said that you were talking to Johnny Colato, who fantastic guest. We've had him on our show much earlier last year. We had Johnny on the show, fantastic guy. But when did you make the jump from I'm making these lightsabers to really deciding I want to become a distributor. I want to sell lightsabers. And then how did you because we also work with Damien at LGT as well. Love that guy. Damien's fantastic.
I know.
So how did you decide that, I'm going to start, providing these? What was your focus?
Well, the original decision was to bring Saber more to be able to keep up with the locals in my area because when pandemic started and the locals couldn't do any of the normal sports in our area, they needed something where they would be at minimum of 3 feet apart and could get, fairly exercise and get exercise and have fun. Granted, in the middle of the winter, it wasn't a great thing, but during the summer and early spring of last year, it was rocking. I got a ton of locals who were interested and who wanted to buy in, and they all did. And after about the third or fourth one, I was like, okay, I can't spin enough of these things to keep them on the shelves long enough. I have to find some other way of doing it. So I talked to a few people, and I mean, I saw the stuff about LGT and everything online. So I was like, okay, let me look into this, because if I can buy into doing something like this, it will alleviate a lot of the pressure from me for the people who are just looking for like an economic build.
Right.
And then as I bought in, LGT's tech went better and better and better. And I finally said, you know what, it'd be stupid to not jump head first into this and, start really working with LGT and not just buying the economic sabers that I was using.
Right.
Were the less expensive. And I'm like, this is crazy. I'm just going to jump head first and start doing and buy a ton of parts, a ton of soundboards, a ton of the sabers that we're selling, because it's like, well, a lot of my local people didn't want to spend, $300-400 on a saber because they went to Ultra Sabers and other companies where it was way more expensive. So they're like, well, we also want to buy local, but we want to save some money. And I'm like, well, we have the Eco Sabers still. Those are still pretty cool. Right. And then we have all these parts that we can build a saber for you. And they're like, ooh, parts. So they all decided that rather than spending the few dollars on the Eco, they'd save a week and spend maybe $50 more to build one. And now we have like 15 or 16 people in my area who are supposed to start training again with us in a couple of days.
So when you say train with us, do you also do like a class, or do you have like a group of people that you do choreography with, or what are you talking about there?
Okay, so second part of my part B of my backstory is for 15 years I taught martial arts.
Oh.
When I started working with lightsabers, I got super into fencing, into saber fencing.
Right.
So I looked around and I was like, well, this is cool. I love the Saber Legion. Those guys rock, but I'm old and I'm chubby. So Saber Legion definitely is probably a bad idea for someone whose joints are probably going to get torn apart. Let me see if I could find one that's a little less impact. And I kind of did. Lightspeed Saber League.
Yes.
I got my knighthood certification, which I was super stoked about in mid-January. It was awesome, except for the fact that I had no room to train in because I was doing it in my apartment with my 2 cats. So, yes, I do get together with a group of my friends, and I think it's now going to be about 15 people, and we train. I have every one of them working on getting to the point where they will be able to do LGT, Lightspeed Saber fencing, which is actually where I want them to be. But if they choose Saber Legion, I'm not going to complain about it too much. They're buying sabers and having fun. That's the most important thing.
All right. Yeah, we actually were just in LA, 3 weeks ago? I think we were fighting a crate base Lightspeed group. Nice. Fantastic experience. It was a good time. In fact, I think I remember I remember seeing on the Lightspeed page there was a post about the New York Jedi. Was that you?
That's me.
Yes.
Me. In my area as of right now, I am the only registered Lightspeed fencer. Right. Probably 200 miles.
Oh man, that is incredible. But you know what? You're starting a movement. You're starting it. It's every movement starts with one person, right?
Well, now we've got me and an Instagram influencer who also was in my martial arts classes with me. So,
all right. See,
so we've got movement in the right direction because he's getting more people involved. He's actually got a bunch of followers from one of my other friends who was in the military. So we're getting a lot more, people involved who may be able to start up groups when they finally get out of their rotation.
Right. And it's happening more and more, especially, we've talked a lot with different people on this show about how, for better or worse, depending, regardless of how people feel about individual things, Disney taking over the Lucasfilm franchise has really expanded the number of people that are interested in, Star Wars and, in particular lightsabers. What person hasn't dreamt since they were a kid of owning their own lightsaber? I mean, it's universal. It's worldwide.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of my big selling points is, and that's why not being at conventions has really affected like my personal business, because 90% of the time it wasn't a Star Wars fan I was selling to.
Right. When we were in the mall, that was our same experiences. That you would think that the majority of the people coming in the store were all Star Wars fan, but everybody loves a glow stick.
This is true. This is true.
I haven't. I cannot think of one person that I haven't put a saber in their hand, and then when they hit that button and hear that iconic, like it doesn't matter if you're 97 or 57, you all turn into a 7-year-old. It automatically happens.
I'll tell you, man, you all turn into a 7-year-old, but Darth Morbidius, that guy has got some skill.
Big up to Darth Morbidius.
That guy has got some serious skill.
Yes, he is. And James Kaiser, who is the producer of that segment, he's the one host that you don't get to see every week, but he's the one that brings us all of the flow artist talent every week, and that's one of his personal proteges. So that
Awesome. Well, speaking of awesome, I know you and I talked about this a little bit, but the May the 4th sale is actually live on my site now.
Woo!
I was going to wait and announce everything into this, but I get impatient. I get seriously impatient. So I actually started the sale 2 days ago. The way it's set up is there's 2 specials. In each of the specials is something 100% unique to what I'm trying to go for. The first special is the May 4th mystery box.
Okay. Everybody loves a mystery box.
I do unfortunately not have sabers with crystal compartments, Darth Morbidius. I apologize. That's one thing LGT has not done yet. I've been trying to print off on my resin printer some blade plugs with crystals embedded in them. Unfortunately, that's not really easy to do. So when I finally figure that one out, you guys will be the first to know about it.
So now, are you okay, wait. Let's find out about these fantastic specials. That was one of the specials, right?
One of the specials, and it's got 3 tiers, or ranks as that's put up on my site. Rank 1 is Adept, which is $69.99 plus 20 shipping and tax.
Wow.
Rank 2 is Apprentice, which is 100 plus the 20 shipping and tax. And the third rank is Knight, which is 195. That's the Eco Pixel rank. That one guarantees one of the Constructa Sabers style variants. And yeah, it's definitely one of the things that I really love. I've had NeoPixel before, but when it's something that you can bring someone and say, this is your Saber, this is really awesome.
Right. So can you explain to people, especially because, if I go to Electrum Sabercraft, or if I go to Vader's Vault or Ultra Saber, everybody has a different term for their ranks and their levels. What does that mean? What is an Adept versus a Knight versus,
Okay,
what does that mean?
I can actually show you right here. So this is the Lancelot. It is a basic handle with a stylized grip. The Adept is one of 6 of these. There are 6 different variants of this specific style. Each of them has roughly the same emitter, but the grip is changed and the pommel is usually changed. I actually have 2 or 3 of them here. This is the Tristan. As you can see, the pommels are the same color, slightly variant. Let's see what else we got. We've got the...
What you got in that box?
The Dagonet.
Ooh.
Again.
So now these are the Adept level sabers, right? So what does that mean? Is that like just a light up only? Is that a full sound saber? Is that
every one of our sabers is full sound?
Oh,
so every one of our sabers has the RGBX Smooth Swing soundboard from Dark Wolf and LGT, which absolutely love. Those guys did an amazing job creating that.
So, yeah, big up to Johnny at LGT. Woo!
So okay, so,
I mean not LGT at Dark Wolf. Sorry.
Yeah, a Dark Wolf. Well, technically, Dark Wolf and LGT are partners.
Okay, yeah, right.
So technically, yeah, Dark Wolf and LGT are the same company. So yeah. So that's the Adept. The Adept is pretty chill. So I've got one here that is in the Knighthood range. Now the Knighthood is a much more stylized handle. Everything is a different part or can be can be set up. And these are just the names of the ranks. The names of the sabers are so much more. There's a backstory there, and I'll get into that after I show you the Adept and the Apprentice. So the Apprentice, the range goes from very stylized to very simple. Obviously, we have now this has got the Caliburn emitter and the Caliburn grip, and then the Dark Star pommel. So I actually like this one. This is actually for a very special person. He is turning 9 tomorrow.
Woo! If I could only be 9 again.
The shop is giving him this saber as his birthday gift.
Wow. Is he watching tonight?
I don't know if he's watching. I did mention it to his mother. His name is Ray. He's a young man from out of Texas, and I absolutely cannot wait for him to get this. His mother went on to Star Wars cosplayers and asked for Star Wars cosplayers to come to his birthday party. Obviously, being in New York, I can't make it. I did a shout out video to him in my full Dre's Morning Star outfit, which is all the stuff I wear when I'm actually selling if I really want to get into character. It's my entire cosplay outfit. So I got into that and I felt really good because it was the first time in months and I still fit into it.
That's fantastic. Oh, that's so cool.
Wonderful bad boys. Now, this again has the RGBX Smooth Swing soundboard. This is what the Apprentice is. So it's a full parts galore piece setup saber with the RGBX Smooth Swing soundboard. The Night Sabers are the same setup as this, except it's got the Eco Pixel soundboard from LGT. Now, the Eco Pixel soundboards from LGT are kind of proffies, but they're not programmable. Everything is set in stone. The sound fonts, everything like that is set in stone. The only thing that's really programmable is colors when you're doing everything. So that's what the Night setup is it's an Eco Pixel sound saber with the different sabers that we offer, and it really is open to any of the parts. Now that is a mystery box, so you're not really sure what you're going to get. That's kind of what he's getting tomorrow. He doesn't know what any of these are called, but his parents checked out the site. They absolutely loved it. They didn't choose this either. These are all the saber parts that I put together for something like this are saber parts that I think kind of go together.
Right.
Then we've got a couple of new additions to the site that'll be going on. One of them will be going up tonight live. One will be going on after I put my next order in and get that delivered. So this is kind of cool, but I'll get into these a little bit in the next couple minutes because there's a second part of the sale. Now, the second special is one that I think a lot of the actual Star Wars fans will love. So who doesn't love the Luke, the Vader, the Darth Maul, the Darksaber, even Rey's little saber at the very end of Rise? Everybody loves those. So what I decided to do for May the 4th was I have some of them in stock. And I put them all into one giant package. So I have the Story So Far bundle. It is 5 sabers, Darth Vader's, Luke's, Darth Maul's, the V3 version variant of the Darksaber, which is the slightly smaller handle, so it's actually easily dueling worthy, and the Eco Ray, which is also dual worthy. All for $1,400.
What? 5 sabers?
5 sabers. 3 of them are display pieces. 2 of them are ready to go.
Wow.
We have 5 sabers there, and the best thing about my shop, and the one thing that I always pride myself on, we ship in 24 hours.
Oh, that is fantastic. That's something that
stay up till 3 a.m. some nights getting shipments ready to go, but it is 100% worth it to have people get their sabers as soon as possible.
I 100% agree with you. That was actually one of the reasons Kyber Cave started 3 years ago, was because there was a hole in the industry where it was taking forever for people to get their lightsabers or get repairs, and that still hasn't been fixed by a lot of these companies.
Well, repairs for me come if you have an issue with your saber, and it's one that is definitely not something that I can do a walkthrough with you on live stream or a walkthrough face-to-face chat with. I will pay for your saber to be returned. I will fix it, and then I will send it back out. If it is something that has to do with the warranty on the soundboard, I will swap your soundboard out, and I will take care of the warranty on my end.
Wow, that's great. That is fantastic.
Customer service was a big thing for me.
Are you shipping worldwide, or is this just in the United States?
At this point, we're shipping continental United States, Hawaii, and Canada.
Okay.
I'm still working on figuring out the worldwide shipping. Most of the time for worldwide shipping, I actually will refer to someone who is more local to save people on the money on shipping.
Oh, that's very cool.
I personally, when I was ordering, I ordered from Electrum, and I love Electrum. Their sabers rock. Shipping was a nightmare.
Right. Oh man, and that's just in Canada. That's not even coming from very far away.
The shipping cost was like, a good, maybe a sixth of the price of the saber, and I'm like, that's crazy, but it's so worth it.
Yeah.
If I can, I try to save people as much money as possible, because in my mind, it's not about making money. It's about it's about the message, and the message for me is pick up a saber, get involved, get into your local groups, get out there and have fun.
Right. Now, you said that you were talking about a costume or that you would wear when you would, I assume when you're at cons or something like that. Is that correct?
Yep, I do have a costume that I usually wear when I'm at cons. It's Forge Master Dre's Morning Star.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I went on the name came from a generator. I did not make it up. I went on to a name generator because I'm like, oh, what name would sound good? I clicked it about 40 times, and I'm like, Morning Star. Okay, I can work with that. So I bought cosplay stuff from New Zealand, which the reason I bought from them is because they made some of the best looking materialized cosplays I've seen. So I bought all of my gear other than my pants because, nobody quite knows how to make pants for a big guy unless they're like physically there. So I've got my own pants for it, but everything else came from New Zealand. They were a great shop. I don't even know if they're still open anymore.
Oh, wow. So now, are you, when you go to cons, are you out there walking around, or are you at a booth with your merchandise?
It depends. If it's a con that I feel would be a good place to sell, I'm usually at a booth. I do bring volunteers with me, and about every 2 to 3 hours, I'll send them out with a ton of business cards into the crowd and a model, shop saber, and I'll be like, here, go stir up business.
Right.
And they'll walk around, and they love the fact that they get to walk around in a con and hang out for a bit, and then they come back and they hustle their butts and sell. They actually are my friends. They don't come and work normally in the shop with me, so I end up doing like buying the meals, providing the hotel room, that kind of stuff, because they're like, oh, we'll be there to help you, and I feel bad because they're like, we'll be there to help you, no problem, don't worry about the money. I'm like, yeah, but you get something for helping.
Right. Yeah, so, you do what you need to do, right?
Exactly, and take care of who you need to take care of, and that's exactly what I try to do. So we go to conventions as many as we can. This year it's kind of been slow.
Right.
It's been a little bit of a downer. We had tickets to Niagara Falls Comic Con for 2 years in a row now, and we haven't gotten them yet.
They back.
So Starforge Sabers has been what, roughly a year then?
This iteration has been roughly a year, yeah. We rebranded actually in 2019. It was Custom Force Sabers. The reason I rebranded was because that name sounded super clunky and I felt it needed a little bit of stylization. So I was like, well, I got to find something that, sounds that's recognizable, but isn't super recognizable. So then I've started searching through old stuff and I'm like, oh, Starforge. Okay, cool. No one's taken that name yet because, we have a whole ton, as you guys probably are aware, we have a ton of Saber companies that have come up in the last, 4 years or so. And there's just a ton of people. It's awesome. But, you coming up with a unique name is really challenging when it comes to Sabers.
Yeah, it's kind of, you do see a little bit of redundancy with some of the Sabers. So coming up with a unique name can be a challenge.
Oh yeah.
I know when we came up with our name, I was researching if the word Kyber was owned, and it's actually owned by a medical group. So we're like, woo, okay, we're safe. The mouse will not come after us.
Don't bet your rent because the mouse goes after everybody. We all know that.
Right. And I'm only 6 hours away, so
depending on which mouse we're talking about, because I'm only a 2-hour flight away.
Well, this is true. So okay, so in this last year, how has with the pandemic and everything, and not being able to get out, has Starforge been able to grow, or have you been kind of working on things behind the scenes and perfecting things? What have you done in this last year to keep your company going?
Well, I got involved with LGT. That was the first step. The next step was to actually regularly go out and practice in one of the public areas in our town to try to get people involved and get people to, hey, these guys are here. This is awesome. And that would be my cat knocking down my tripod.
As cats do.
I have 2 cats. Both of them help me test products. I'll turn them on and then they'll chase them for no apparent reason.
I have 2 cats as well, so I understand.
So, the pandemic has kind of affected us in a weird way. Before, we didn't do a lot of net sales. Internet has kind of been a new thing for my shop. I had a site. It was very kind of mismanaged because I was more or less focusing on preparing for every convention we were at. And once the pandemic hit and I started to kind of move into the LGT selling, I'm like, I guess I need to start managing the website more and start really focusing on correcting some of the stuff that was wrong on the website.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't that it was wrong. It was just a really bad, which I had set it up and I had someone help me set it up and he did a great job. And then I took it over and I am not a web designer. I am not someone who is a professional at that. So I kind of took what his great job was and torpedoed it. And then I had to buy the website design for dummies books and kind of figure out how to create another design. But I did go to culinary school and I know how to do menus. So I'm like, if I have a dark background with bright colored buttons on there, people will click them. And as long as I keep that background dark and the front things that I want people staring at bright, I can attract eyes to what I want them to start looking at.
Right.
And that's exactly what I kind of did. A lot of our buttons are bright red. When you go on the page, our sale banners are, I think, neon purple. When they pop up the first time you go onto a page, and then all of our backgrounds are really dark colors. It's like darks and blacks and grays. So yeah, the site has kind of come a long way, and that was a necessity when it came to actually making sales because I was not having a good luck time doing it on the old site. So that site iteration has gone through a number of changes. And I gotta say I really liked it. And then about a week and a half before the New York shut down, Mike Berger inducted inducted me into the New York as the New York head of the Jedi Council of North America.
Wow.
We kind of got given a lot of slack because we got started just before shutdown, so it's not like I could have gone to different places and gotten photos for people. We do definitely have 4 solid members in my hometown that have got their outfits and everything, and we're kind of just waiting on warmer weather before we go out and do like a full photo shoot.
Right.
I have a member in a town 50 miles away who is a lot better cosplayer than I will ever be. She is a professional makeup artist. She is amazing. She does costumes, and she does costumes that she creates herself. They are absolutely phenomenal. I absolutely cannot believe how amazing they are. But on the other note, we actually have a couple sabers tonight that are not currently offered on the shop that we're going to be introducing to you guys.
Ooh, brand new exclusives.
Yeah, brand new exclusives. And the reason I kind of wanted to introduce them tonight was because I usually do my introductions over live stream, but since I'm not on my live stream, and I know that only Ezra follows it from the three of you guys. I'm introducing it tonight. Ezra does follow my Instagram, so yeah, he definitely does follow me. I found that out tonight. Phoenix does follow too. Phoenix does follow. She started following.
And I cannot be blamed for the technology.
So we've got 2 that are coming. One that's coming in for my next order because it was just released by LGT in the last week or so. But this one that I'm going to introduce you to now is slightly different than a lot of our sabers. So, as I'm sure you all are aware, all of my sabers have kind of a unique namesake. They're all named something close to the Arthurian legends, which I laugh at because you'd think Mystic Knight's armor would have, or Mystic Knight Saber, Tim Stone at Mystic Sabers would have taken up all of these by now.
Right.
Because his sabers look so much more medieval than mine. His sabers rock. You know,
yes.
He's definitely got a unique design, and I absolutely love it. But I'm jumping on the chance I can get to grab old mythological names. So the next saber that we're introducing tonight is one that is kind of odd because it's not like a lot of the LGT sabers I sell. It's not one that has a pommel and a connector pommel. This one specifically is a staff. There is no break it down and get a pommel and everything. This is only set up to be a staff. Okay.
Ooh.
So, and it is unique for mine because I usually love the idea of the dual wield sabers versus the dual bladed saber. So This is the staff of Merlin.
Ooh.
It is going to come in all different colors. It's going to come in black, silver, and gold.
And I see it's vented in the middle for sound.
Yes, it is. This does have full RGBX sound.
Wow.
So it is definitely one that I actually have been planning on for a little bit. And when you kind of said, come up, have something on hand to grab, I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I better put this thing together, seeing as I've been planning it for 2 weeks.
Woohoo!
So the next one is a little different. And by little different, I mean it's a lot different. LGT has come out with some really awesome designs. This is one of my favorites just because of how small it is.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the Guinevere.
Oh, wow.
As you guys can see, it is wicked small. It's about 10 inches long.
Wow. That's
a
nice one-handed saber, though.
Definitely a nice one-handed saber. I love one-handed sabers personally. My personal preference to fencing is always one-handed, with the tip angled at the opponent, trying to make sure that they stare at the tip long enough to not notice where the other parts of the blade are. But the Guinevere is definitely going to be available on our site within the next couple of weeks. This one is going to be, I think, 120, 125.
Wow.
This also comes RGBX. The Staff of Merlin obviously is going to be a little bit more expensive, and I'm probably going to range it around the 175 range, 180.
Okay, but
So
that's a full sound on both sides. That's still not too bad there.
full sound on both sides, and then it's at this point where I'm looking at a bunch of different options for dark versions and LE versions of each of the sabers that we offer. I'm waiting on a shipment of parts. They're backed up a little bit, so I'm still waiting. I'm hoping next week they come in so I can get the dark versions of Excalibur and the light version of Mordred done.
Ooh, sounds like you got quite a selection there. Are all of those available on the website?
They are.
Okay.
So the way the website is set up, and I kind of did this as a just to keep my mind from going nuts at doing prices for individual parts. All of the Constructa Sabers, which would be the ones that you'd see at conventions and having me standing behind the table, guiding people through constructing, are $115 flat, coming with an RGBX soundboard.
Wow.
It doesn't matter what part you choose. It comes with an emitter, a switch, a grip, and a pommel. If you want an extra piece or an extra grip, we do sell separate parts.
Mm-hmm.
But it is definitely a pretty good offer for what I would view as what I would sell at a convention.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I set my site up is I kind of set it up the way I'd set up my convention tables. So on the Constructive Saber page, there's the button for the Constructive Saber, but then there's also a link to every Saber piece, every Saber fully constructed that we offer, so that you can see the pieces on each. And if you actually like the way that they're set up, you can buy the Saber set up with those pieces. And that's how I usually do my convention tables. There'll be a line of pieces leading up to an actual Saber that's fully put together with those pieces. And then there'll be the next Saber, and then the next Saber, and all the pieces will be in front, and then the full constructed one will be up front. So you can pick and choose which piece you want, or you can go with the full shop named Saber if you prefer. But in the Constructed Saber section, there are options for each Saber. So you get the Caliburn emitter, the Mordred emitter, the Muramasa emitter, the Masamune emitter, the Musashi emitter, the Gawain emitter, the Percival emitter, and the Bedivere emitter. And same thing with the grips, same thing with the switches, and same thing with the pommels. For the switches, there's only 4 styles of switches because the only thing different with the switches is the color render for a few of them. Mm-hmm. So there's black switch, there's a black switch, there's a silver switch, there's the Caliburn switch where it's got the black and silver two-tone. But other than that, it's open to your imagination. Whatever you want, that's what we offer. And like I said, I try to keep as many parts in stock as possible. Right now, that's pretty much all my order consists of coming in. For my next order coming in, it's 100% parts. There's no electronics.
Right. It gets addicting when you can put together your own Saber.
It does, but at the same time, I've found that more people are buying the Constructed Sabers than the Noble Knights, and I kind of have to have enough parts to satisfy people.
Right. That's the challenge.
That's the challenge, and that's also the fun of it, because supply and demand, if I have 10, 15 pieces of one part and only 4 of the other, first come, first serve. Plus, I'm not just doing the stuff online. I'm also serving the people in my local area.
Right.
At some point during the week, there's definitely a time where parts will get reduced on the site because someone in my local area has come to my home setup and sat down with me and built a Saber.
Right. It happens.
It really does.
All right, hey Jim. So we're coming into the end of our segment here now. I wanted to ask you really quickly about where could people find you if they're wanting to put together their own saber, if they're wanting to talk to you about these promotions that you have running? Maybe they want to get 5 sabers at the same time. They gotta get a saber for everybody in the family.
Oh, well, you can always contact me from the site, starforgesabers.com. You can contact me on our Facebook page at Starforge Sabers or the Starforge Sabers community page. Or if you want to go the personal route, you can always look me up. I won't guarantee that I'm visible on Facebook. Always look me up by my name and send me a message. We also offer a school fencing package with all 8 of the Arthurian Legend sabers that are currently offered at the shop.
Wow. So if somebody was starting like a little program, or if they wanted to do it in their area, they could buy your saber on bulk?
Oh, yeah. I have the Arthurian Legends, which are the Mordred, the Caliburn, Percival, Gawain, Lancelot, Galahad, Dagonet, and the... Oh, gosh, what was the other one? The Tristan. 100%, all 8 of them. They're all selling. They're all selling for... I think the last when I put it up, it was 800 for all 8.
Wow. Okay.
Plus full blades, recharge, have the whole setup, and then it also qualifies for free shipping.
Wow. So if you're looking to start a school in one pop, there you go. Contact Jim.
Exactly.
Jim, I want to thank you for staying up late out there in New York. You get yourself a blanket if it's too cold.
Yeah,
Thank you for spending time with us tonight and letting us learn about Starforge Sabers. And I wish you the best, and I will see you on the convention circuit, my friend.
Oh, you will. I'll be flying out west.
Yeah, please come on out.
with 8 freaking carry-ons and 17 people.
Yeah. Bring the whole entourage.
I would if I could. My entourage is fun as all get out.
All right. Well, you have yourself a good evening, Jim.
You too, Van.
All right. Peace. All right, director. Who do we got? Whoa! I'm doing karate moves. Whoa!
It seems like Ezra has been taken by the dark side, so
that happened a long time ago. We can't be blamed for that.
I brought him back to the good side, and then now he's been kidnapped by the Force again. So
Hey, well, we are, and this is, it's always my fault. We're running a little bit behind, and I'm not sure if Robert is on, but I definitely wanted to show off some of these fantastic bags. And I actually have Ezra's bag here too. This is a bag that Robert has made for us. He will be in store tomorrow, in fact. Ooh, this is my saber bag. And Ezra's, which you guys have not had a chance to see, this is the one with the famous water bottle contraption on his, and look at his patch.
Ooh, Mandalorian, I am so proud.
Mythosaur. But yes. And he has put mini sabers in the front on his pouches. So if you need a saber bag of your own, you can contact us. We will put you in touch with Robert. I know he's going to be at the store tomorrow, and we will get you taken care of. Well, there you go.
Well, there we go. In fact, I saw those little mini sabers. That's what we get for leaving him alone in the store too long.
See, this is why you can't leave Ezra alone anywhere for too long. You can't even leave him alone in like, his own bedroom for too long. Somehow a rave will pop out in the middle of his room and nobody even entered.
Yeah, that's the problem with him, right?
Hey, do we have a what's ticking video?
Ticking? We do. Let's see. We have
What's ticking. Yeah. I so hate the name of that segment.
I know. I'm sort of like when we made it, I was like, what? It's like we just had that conversation. Someone was asking, like, what do you not understand? And I'm like, I don't like TikTok. But, here we go.
If there's one thing that I could take away from my time with Disney, especially working at a Star Wars based attraction, it's this. So I had to move into my car to do this because my family hates it when I do this. It is kind of loud. But anyways, here is R2-D2's scream.
I like your cut, G. Do it. Hello there. I have the high ground.
Wow. Hey, that R2 screech was actually pretty amazing, though.
I know. I was like, well, I'm not very good with TikTok, but I found actually Ezra was looking. He's been pretty good about looking for TikTok videos and teaching me how to use TikTok. And we found that one together, and then I found the other one while watching the Marvel show last night. And yeah, oh my goodness.
Yeah, to be clear, I have no problem with TikTok. I hate the name of that segment. What's ticking? If anything, I was like, wouldn't Talk of the Town be better?
I like that. I've been wanting. I think even it'd be kind of cool to expand into viral videos.
Yeah. Okay. We can talk about this. Woohoo! Production value increases every show.
I mean, I'm the one that does it, so.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of Mandalorian, and we saw Baby Yoda. This next guest is actually sets the bar for many cosplayers. So I think we'll bring on Jason.
Woohoo!
Hey, hi.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
So why don't you tell us a little bit, and I'm going to. I'm having a heck of a time with tech tonight. Tell us a little bit about what you cosplay.
Well, I've been cosplaying for about 10 years now. Hold on one second. I'm gonna let my dog out.
Oh.
Sorry, she was barking and making noise.
No problem.
I've been cosplaying for about 10 years now. I joined the 501st about 10 years ago, and that was really my first foray into costuming. Was getting into the Star Wars through the 501st.
And when you joined the 501st, you the photo is cited as a CRL. Sorry, what was it? It was a CRL model.
Yeah, I'm the CRL model, or costume reference library model, for the Din Djarin Beskar costume.
And what does that exactly mean for people that aren't really familiar with that?
Well, the 501st has a costume reference library that has the specifications for all of the costumes in the Star Wars universe, and you have to build your costume to a certain level of specs to be approved and granted membership into the club. And I was probably one of the first people to work on the Mandalorian costume. I worked on it very early. I've redone it about countless times, 10 times, and I'm still working on it actually. But yeah, I was approached by the detachment costume advisor and was told that they liked what they saw and they wanted to use my build as the model for the standard for Din Djarin Beskar.
Oh, and when did you start, and how did you do something like that? Because I know it's really complicated doing especially a Mandalorian costume because there's so many.
Yeah, each costume has its own little nuances and its own level of difficulty. Being that I started on this particular costume very early on when the series first came out, there wasn't really a whole lot of reference points other than the show. So we had a lot of people. Obviously, Mandalorian was a huge success for the Star Wars universe and for the fans, and it kind of reignited the passion for Star Wars. At least it did for me. I know it did for a lot of other fans as well. So everybody was scrambling, starting to make parts, starting to model parts, and a lot of the early on stuff that we were working with wasn't very accurate. And over the course of the last year and a half or so, we've really been able to dial it in and get accurate parts, and these guys out there that go into ZBrush and CAD and model these things so that we can print them out either in PLA or in resin. And it's just amazing what these guys can do on a computer. I couldn't even begin to go on a computer and model anything. I do print things. I have 4 PLA printers and 3 resin printers. So it's nice to have these guys that are have the talent to be able to model this stuff, so us cosplayers can have accurate things to build our costumes with.
So, since you started early on, did you just start and stop and watch commercials and episodes, or did anyone have sort of a build for you?
Yeah,
or help?
Like early on when I first joined the Legion, like Facebook and social media and that stuff wasn't really prevalent back then. So we didn't really have a whole lot of resource other than watching the films, looking at the visual dictionaries, things like that. But with the advent of Facebook and social media, I mean, people all over the world, we really all come together and work as a group and give our opinions. We start build groups on Facebook. There's several Mandalorian build groups just for Din that have thousands and thousands of members, and we all kind of get together in these groups, and we share photos and reference material and things like that, and we just kind of plug along and until we get everything tweaked to where it needs to be, so it's screen accurate.
And do you cosplay? And I'm hearing that you're a little soft and I'm a little loud. If you could,
okay.
Is it possible? Yeah.
Yeah. Let me. I think my volume's turned all the way up here. Let me turn it up some more. I get a little closer. Is that better?
Yeah, definitely better. Sorry, and I'll talk a little slow. I'll talk a little lower. So when you do you cosplay anything else, or is this or is it Din a big one for you?
Well, when I first started in the Legion, obviously, Din wasn't around, but I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I have been since I was a kid. I was born in '76, so right around that's right around the time that the films were coming out. I kind of got into it big time in '83 when Return of the Jedi came out. So yeah, I've been a Star Wars fan my entire life. I always wanted to join the Legion. I never thought I would be able to, because I'm like, this super elite club, and it's really expensive to build a costume, and just finally one year I decided to go ahead and do it. My first costume was an Imperial officer, staff officer, black officer costume, and that's kind of like how most people get their foot in the door. They'll start out with a soft, non-armored costume, and I've built over the last 10 years. I've probably built just for myself, probably about 15 costumes. I've trooped everything from Imperial officers to TIE pilots, stormtroopers, shore troopers, Sith trooper. You name it, I pretty much built it and cosplayed it.
What has been your favorite to build?
Well, Din's my passion now. I mean, I'm like obsessed with the Mandalorian. It's just like, it's like everything that Star Wars is and should be to me is the Mandalorian. Like it harkens back to the original films. It really has the feel of the original films. I kind of, like most hardcore Star Wars fans, I wasn't really thrilled with the sequels. The three most recent ones. I enjoyed them well enough, but it just didn't have the same feel to me as the original films did. So Mandalorian for me is definitely something I'm very passionate about. I just love the whole Jon Favreau and Filoni have done a fantastic job just bringing us back to the feel of those original three films, and it's just fantastic.
What do you recommend, since you set the bar almost for any other din that wants to come along? What do you recommend for anyone that wants to get into the 501st or this sort of elite cosplay?
There's, like I said, with social media, especially Facebook, there's tons of groups. You can go on Facebook and search out Mandalorian build groups. You can search the 501st. You can go to 501st.com and learn about the Legion there and what it is that we do. For people that don't know what we do, it's actually an all-volunteer organization. It's worldwide in over 60 countries. I think when I joined, we had right around 6,000 members. I think we're probably close to 16 or 17,000 members now worldwide in 60 countries. So the sequels have helped boost membership, definitely, for sure, and it's kind of like reignited the passion for Star Wars. So we've had a large surge in membership. But yeah, anybody that wants to join, definitely go to 501st.com, go on Facebook and search out the groups. If there's a particular costume that you're interested in, there's definitely a group for it on Facebook, because every costume pretty much has a build group on Facebook. So
on Facebook, and yeah, can you and also like you said, there's non-armored cosplay. Is that there's a big difference between those two groups, or do they sort of mix together? I know there's soft parts in the Mandalorian.
Yeah, well, I mean, like Din's costume is a mix of like soft parts and hard armor. There's the Imperial officers that is just soft armor. There's no really discrimination in the 501st. If there's something that you like, there's not really any segregation. I mean, each costume has its own detachment. Like the TIE pilots have their own detachment, the stormtroopers have their own detachment, but we're all one big family. There's not any like segregation or anything like that.
And what about trooping? Because I know not everyone knows about the cosplay culture. What was trooping like?
Well, trooping for the 501st is it's all volunteer work. We do a lot of community work, children's hospitals visits. We go out and support breast cancer, American Heart Association, autism awareness. And it's all volunteer. We all go out and we get dressed up and we mingle with everybody at these events and take photos and just have a good time with everybody.
So is it a call out when you guys do something like that, like on Facebook, or they say, okay, we're going somewhere? Or
well, most times we get event requests through the 501st website. A lot of times it's repeat requests. We'll do a lot of the same troops every year because the people have had us before and they want us back again. But there is a request form on the 501st website that you can request us. Wherever you live, you can request the 501st to come do an event for you. And we also do birthday parties, we do weddings, we do all that kind of stuff too. We do conventions, of course. We always have a booth at conventions. So anywhere you go, if there's a large convention or even small convention, you'll probably see a booth for the 501st at the convention you go to, no matter where you live.
And Halloween's must be pretty interesting for you, since you have that level of costuming.
Halloween, actually, me and I know most of my fellow 501st members and fellow cosplayers, at least in the Star Wars community, we take Halloween off.
Sorry?
We take Halloween off.
Oh, you take Halloween off?
Yeah, because we do it all year round. So on Halloween, we don't do anything.
Oh my goodness! I'd answer the door as Din, and freak out some poor kid.
Yeah, we were gonna do something last year, but with COVID and everything, we decided against it. We were just gonna go downtown and hang out and have a good time, but yeah, we ended up not doing really much last year. So
the audio wasn't great. How long did you say that you were you've been doing this?
I've been in the Legion going on 10 years almost. So been building costumes and cosplaying for 10 years.
And of course, you said that you've been dressing up much longer. What was your first cosplay?
Was the Imperial Officer when I joined the 501st.
Oh, that's right, the Imperial Officer.
Yeah.
And what really inspired you? I'm curious to do Din, because I know some Mandos do what's it called? Custom play. Some have other characters. What really drew you to Din?
Yeah, like the Mandalorian Mercs Costume Club, they're more of the custom Mando. You can pretty much make your own Mandalorian however you want and get membership into that club. They also take canon screen characters. But the Mercs are more of the custom Mando type thing, which really never appealed to me. But like I said, just watching that first season of The Mandalorian and just really reignited my passion. It really brought out the little kid in me again for Star Wars, and I loved the presentation. I loved the grittiness of it. I loved just everything. It really sparked in me to want to build this costume and cosplay as him.
How long did it take you about to do that costume?
I'd say probably from start to finish and all the redos that I did and everything like that, it took me just a little over a year to get it to where I wanted it.
That sounds pretty much about right.
Yeah. That I'm still tweaking, and I'm building another one now. There's different levels in the 501st. So there's basic level, and then there's like the super high tier level. So they actually want me to build the super high exact replica screen used costume. So that's what I'm working on now, and that'll probably take me another 6 months or so to get that to where.
So what does something like that entail, to give everybody a little bit of an idea of what you guys go through to be screen accurate?
Definitely starting with these guys that make the files or make the armor and get everything situated so we can actually print the armor and get it made. Every little detail, the stitching on the suit, how many ribs are on the cummerbund. You have to use the screen used boots, boot covers, like he wore on the show that he used. They're Skechers boots, plain with actually leather covers glued over them. So you actually have to have the Skechers boots, leather covers glued over them. I have to have a certain amount of stitching. I have to have the right color stitching. I have to use the screen used paint. It's just every little detail that we have found out about the show has to be worked with the costume.
And how do you determine those kind of things? Because is there a website that says like there's this many stitches and this kind of boot?
We have a lot of contacts at Lucasfilm that we kind of get little tidbits of stuff when they're past their NDAs, that they'll start giving us little tidbits here and there. The costume designers will tell us what they used, fabrics that they used, products that they used. You'd be amazed at how much stuff comes off Amazon for this last season of The Mandalorian. It's pretty funny.
Really, I'm curious because I'm always searching Amazon, going, "There's got to be something."
Well, I think it was. I don't remember if it was the first or second episode of the second season that the Mon Calamari that was on the dock when Din crashed his ship onto the dock. That sweater he was wearing was from Amazon. So it's just funny the different things you find out as you go along and you start really digging into these things and finding out where a lot of these items came from.
I would suppose so. Like the costume designer, just goes and finds something that looks great.
Yeah, they're a lot of times they're on a time crunch and they're on a budget, and they have to get things done in a certain amount of time. Amazon Prime, we need a sweater for this guy. Let's order it on Amazon.
Costuming in the 21st century, right?
Exactly.
If people want to follow you, where do they find you to watch your progress as you take it higher?
I actually just started a prop business about 6 months ago. If you search J&J Props on Facebook, it's me and my best friend. We started a prop making business, and I actually am only specializing in Mandalorian right now, so if anybody wants Mandalorian armor, I'm the guy to look up and talk to you about getting yourself a screen accurate set of Mandalorian armor. So if you want to follow me, go to Facebook and search J&J Props.
Excellent. I'll definitely be looking for that. And of course, and I know I asked it before, but what if you had to answer why join 501st in a few words? What would you say?
First and foremost, it was my passion for Star Wars. Definitely, I get to essentially dress up as an action figure, you know, and I can be a big kid, you know, which I'll always be. I'm always going to be a kid at heart. You know, that's just who I am as a person. Second for me was the volunteerism, the community service, and that aspect of it. I liked the fact that I could go out into the community and do good things through my love of Star Wars, and make other people smile and make other people, you know, it's kids in the hospital that might not be feeling well. Even if we're there for only 10 minutes, it makes their day better, you know. So yeah, definitely for me was the passion for Star Wars and the volunteerism. And I've absolutely made some of the most fantastic best friends I've had in my entire life, lifelong friends that I'll have forever and ever. Just the whole community, the whole Star Wars community, the whole 501st community as a whole is really, really a great organization. And the amount of friends I've made and lifelong friends I've made is really, really important to me, and it's been a blessing.
Well, bless everything you guys do, because it's great. Just so much for the community and for cosplayers. You guys set the bar for us, which I'm building a Mandalorian too, so but not nearly as good to join the 501st yet. Thank you so much for we're kind of winding down here with the show, but thank you so much for being on. This has been an interesting conversation. And hope to have you back on the show again soon to see where you've gone with Din.
I'd love to be back.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Have a good night.
Holy goodness, 15 costumes. I can't even put together one.
I don't know how he did that. I barely put together my my Spider Noir costume.
All right, and I like how he was like, well, I decided to get into to cosplay, so I made a 501st costume. Like, how do you start there?
Yeah, it's like saying I wanted to fly, so I flew a Boeing 787.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't even start with a kite. I just went straight to the planes.
Yeah.
Yes. This has been an amazing, amazing show. We have fun every single week. I don't know why. Well, I saw Flannel had some other things going on, so I'm not sure if Flannel's going to be back next week. But you know what I do have this week that I never have? I actually know who our guest is going to be next week.
What? Me too, actually.
Dude, look, I'm getting all adult and stuff. I have this is my Saber Rattle book. And I'm like writing down like shows, and when I'm booking out, and I'm writing down the flow artist and the different. This is like, look, I haven't even done before show 35 yet. This is just the recent ones, but because of that, I know who our guests are going to be for like the next month. That's incredible. I don't even know who I am for an entire month.
So you want to announce who your guest will be?
Yes, because I think this is one that a lot of, especially the hardcore Saber fans, are going to really enjoy. We have Andrew Bendu of Bendu Armory. And if you know anything about Bendu Armory, what sets them apart, what makes them distinct, is if you've seen the sabers that have like a carbon fiber hilt, that is them. They are known for doing very unique. One of their curve hilts is absolutely gorgeous. But they do very unique, very tough, sturdy sabers. and they're easily recognizable. When you see a Bendu Armory Saber, you know exactly who that is. So you've got a week between now and then to go online and get yours ordered, so that when you have this interview, you can say, "I bought your Bendu lightsaber."
Which is also interesting because we are going to have Clint Williams next week.
Ooh,
yeah. I
yes.
decided to have him on to kind of close out just before we do our 50th. He's in fact, I don't know why I'm echoing again.
This makes sense.
Yeah, I'm echoing. So we're going to have Clint Williams come on, and he's going to tell us all about cosplaying. He has a YouTube channel, and he does a lot of the really cool stuff, making guns. In fact, it's a good one to do because he
made it for Dominic Pace.
Yes, he built Dominic Pace guns. So
yes, and Clint Williams was actually here for our grand opening, and he had like a little video that he made that day. So I am very excited to see him. He contacted us one time too because he was entering this like design your own saber competition thing, and so we were helping him get a couple of little parts and stuff. So love Clint, very excited about that. I want to thank all of our fantastic guests that we've had tonight. We had Darth Morbidius on our Flow for the Show. And thank you for tuning in tonight, too. That's cool to have our flow artists watching.
Can't wait to have you again.
Yes, we definitely want to have him again. I'm sure James can facilitate that. I want to thank Jim Mosctello of Starforge Sabers. Don't forget, he's got those 2 promotions. He's got 2 big sales running right now. So we're coming up to May 4th. If you need a saber still and you haven't gotten one through Kyber Cave, you can give him, get on his website. And he says he likes to put sabers out in the mail in 24 hours. Amazing. That's exactly what our industry needs.
And thank you to Jason. As always, we love 501st. We love you guys so much.
The 501st is amazing.
Yeah. And they get a lot of shout outs on the show because they're just so phenomenal with what they do for the community, for kids, for sick kids, for just everyone. And of course, they have the blessing of the mouse. So,
yes.
Yeah.
As well as, too, there was even a mention when Jim was talking about he was the leader of the New York division of the Jedi Council of America. And Mike Berger is someone who started that, who we have had on this show as well. So actually, Jim made a shout out to 2 people that we've already had on the show. So what's up with that? We're on our ball, dude. We're doing our thing.
we know everybody. Yeah.
We have eyes everywhere.
All right. So I think we're going to be closing out here pretty soon.
Yes, thank you for everybody that has tuned in tonight. Phoenix, thank you for taking over on the technical, and Ezra too for hooking me up. I shouldn't even be I should just sit back here with my hands behind my back.
Yes, you should. And yes, I will say a Sith. I see you. Don't worry about it.
Red blade for life.
I won't turn you yet, my young Padawan.
Nah. Jim Mosctello actually said that he has a 15% off a total order of $150 on his website using coupon code Saber Space Rattle 48.
Hey, Saber Space Rattle, right? Is that what
it's Saber.
Saber Rattle. That's a special Saber Rattle promotion.
It's a special Saber Rattle promotion.
What? Oh my gosh, 15% off. Get. What am I talking to you for? I need to jump online. Good night.
I'll text it 48.
I know.
We're putting it in the chat. There we go.
I own a Saber store, and I'm like, ooh, I got to go check out his stuff. 15% off. Come on.
Absolutely.
All right, make sure to use your Saber Rattle coupon, guys, this week. And we will see you next week with Andrew Bendu. Peace, y'all. Be safe.
Bye.
Bye.